We have a nice easy one in today. You might remember this from yesterday. This is the heavily modified Master System 2 that come in for some FM mod repairs. The customer's going ahead and having the insides cleaned up and rewired. So let me just show you what's inside this thing. If you didn't see the previous video, let's just take the lid off this and show you what's inside. We have to be careful removing it because there's a whole host of wiring. There's LEDs under the lid that's quite tight, so we haven't got much room to move. And then we have all these mods, just a jumbled mess, quite frankly, that needs to be redone. When I was working on this and installing the clean power and fixing this port, about 5 wires just broke, just opening and closing this thing, so they're quite fragile. What I'm going to do is remove everything first, read up on each mod so we know the exact install and where things should go, and not rely on these wires. And then we'll find a good place to mount these. One of the main things I want to solve is this board's almost impossible to just lift out and work on and service because everything's attached, glued in, fixed to boards, so it's really hard to remove. One of the goals, I want to be able to take this board out with very little effort. And here's the current mess we're dealing with, so you can see how crazy this looks. We want to really fix these to the board. These bits that are also all stuck to the case, we want to try and resolve somehow. We've probably still got to desolder a few wires to remove it, but we certainly want it more serviceable than this. I've had to cut the top lid to even just move this for now. And the bottom lid, this is the only way you can move it because it's already tight here. So it's not very serviceable as it stands, as well as obviously this bundle of wires. So take a look at this. I'm going to clean it up next. And here is the finished result. So all the mods are still in, but you might be wondering where they are. I've got some strain reliefs here, an extra coil of wire, so that when we remove this board, these can simply expand without pulling. I've extended the LED wire, so we have plenty of room now to manoeuvre. And then we want to take a look at the mods. We can just lift up, and you see all these just expand. So you've got plenty of room to work with. And if we flip over, there's all the mods. So we have everything rewired, nice and neatly and completely stealth, all underneath the board. And then when we flip back over, we can now work on this if we need to. And when not in use, you simply coil the wires back up, and now everything is nice and stealth again. Let's just put this back together and check everything works. So the first check will be, does it power on? Yes. The LED works. Now do we get audio? Let's just load up Sonic. And we do. So that is the standard audio. Let's now flick to FM and reset. And there's the FM. That's working good. Hold the reset for a few seconds to change the light color. This cycles modes. You can see we're now in 60 Hertz, and you'll hear the audio difference. So this is 60 Hertz. And this is 50 Hertz. Now this is what we're used to in the UK, and listen how slow that sounds. This is why Americans often say when they hear our Sonic, it doesn't sound right. If we go to the American speed, it seems fast to us. Now let's just test a few of the features of the 6-button pad that the mod should be able to do. We do B, start and left. You can see left and right toggles between the frequency modes, so we don't have to hold the reset button. We also have an actual pause button now, so we can pause the game. And we can also reset by pressing all 3 buttons and start. There's a bunch more features, but it's safe to say that's now all up and running. Everything still works for the customer, and all the problems from the previous repair are now all fixed. This should now last the customer for years, and they can be assured that everything is good and sound inside.